My name is Jodie Bunting and welcome to the beach, where I'd like to share with you this morning my coming out story. So this coming Saturday is Derbyshire Pride. It's on Saturday in Derby city centre, St Peter's Street at 11 o'clock. Everybody's meeting. Then the party is at 12 o'clock on Curzon Street. Now today, to promote Pride, I'd like to share with you my coming out story. Now, for those of you who don't know, I knew I was gay when I was 13. As a child, before then, I used to hang around with the girls at school, and I used to have lots of aunties, and I always used to be loving up to them, and was kind of a very girly girl in a way, but obviously at that age I didn't really know anything was going to change in my life. And then from that moment, when I was 13, I did start to look at, it was Take That in Smash Hits magazine, where they weren't wearing much, and I just had a very strong attraction. And then we used to go camping, which is quite apt because I'm camping at the moment, and I did have some experiences with my friends as a teenager, and those were obviously a lot of kids, they play around, teenagers, they play around, but that was really cementing to me that something was happening. Now, at the age of 18, that was when I officially, or as I now know as an adult, officially did something to know that I was gay. But before then, I met a girl at college who, as you know, I have a lovely daughter, and it's confused many people for many years. You know, how can this guy be gay and he's got a daughter and he used to be married or something? So I'm just going to clear that up, guys. So at college, when I was 17, 18, I met a lovely girl. We were really good friends, and as college things happen, we kind of got too close, and we did end up sleeping together. And I really fell in love with her. You know, she was just like one of the nicest people I'd ever met in my whole entire life. And there is a certain, part of your life where, when you like somebody so much, it's the next step to start the relationship with them. So I did stay with her, and we were together for almost 5 years. Towards the end of the relationship, that's when we had a baby together. Now, again, a lot of you may be thinking, like, how can she be with him when he thinks he's gay, and how does it all work? Well, she used to be what's termed in the gay world as a fag hag, so she knew that I was gay, and obviously she liked me, and I said I liked her, so it wasn't a big deal. We used to do gay jokes together and stuff like that, so it was very open, and I wasn't definitely in the closet. So from there, we had Phoebe. So Phoebe was obviously a huge change in my life, and for me personally, this kind of cemented me in a traditional relationship, and that gave me a little bit of a shock, and I wasn't really ready for that. But anyway, I got used to it, and the joys of being fatherhood was great, and my mum was really happy because obviously she thought I was gay, so for suddenly to be told I'm having a baby and her gay son is now with a girl and having a baby, it's a great thing. She was jumping for joy. And from there, Phoebe was born. Just to skip back a little bit, when I was 18, I told my mum and dad that I was gay. And for many people, the moment that you do tell somebody really, really close to you is actually your coming out moment. So when I look back at my coming out moment, it was when I told my mum when I was 18, and she said, "It's just a phase, you'll get over it, don't worry." And then I told my dad, and my dad just made a joke of it, saying, "Oh great, more girls for us guys." So thankfully my mum and dad are quite relaxed people, and the way I told them, I don't know what I was expecting, but both of them made quite a light-hearted joke about it, so I should be very thankful for that, and they just let me be free and do what I wanted to do. So going back to Phoebe, so when Phoebe was 3 to 6 months old, me and her mum split up. The pressures of having a newborn baby in a relationship, they really do test it, as everybody knows, the pressures of a brand new baby. And we did feel it would be better if we lived apart. So we split up, and that's when I like to say I became super gay. So suddenly being in a relationship with a child, you know, I kind of had that responsibility. I had all that taken away, and in a different side of my life, that's the moment when I went from 31 stones down to 13 stones in those 3 years. How did I do it? I was eating good, I was exercising, but most importantly, personally, I was completely free. I was going out gay clubbing all the time. I was doing loads and loads of stuff, which I think, you know, kind of I missed out on as a teenager because I was like kind of unsure, and obviously with the whole relationship being so early, I did go clubbing every day. Me and my friends, we went down to London, we went to Nottingham, and just had the time of our lives. I was working on Ram FM at the moment, and I remember coming in from the gay club at like 5 a.m. and then starting at 6:30 on Ram FM. So it was a really like nice part of my life. I have Poppy with me, by the way, who is not gay. She is a girl dog, and she's wearing pink, and she very much loves boys. Like me. So from there, so as I said, I became super gay, and from that moment I was obviously living alone, and I didn't really have anybody in the UK that you would call my boyfriend. I had lots of friends, because obviously within my work I meet quite a lot of people, so I had loads of really great gay friends, and we would go out and have a great time. And then the biggest stage in my life, the biggest life-changing moment in my life, which you guys know, is when I changed my name. So what happened was I was having some issues with seeing my daughter, and Kafkas, which is an agency that works for the government that do like interviews, they interviewed my daughter, and one of the things my daughter said was, gays are dirty. So obviously I didn't put that in her head, because as a small child I said, you know, I like boys, I'm gay. Well, maybe I didn't say I'm gay, but I said, you know, I like boys, this is my boyfriend, whatever. So wherever she picked this up, whether it was school or friends, wherever, it was obviously not a good thing. But for me at that time, I was so desperate to keep the relationship with my daughter, I decided I wouldn't be gay. Then I started to explore how not to be gay. Okay, it sounds crazy, but this is what I did, guys, so I need to tell you exactly what I did. And from there I started going to an Alpha course, which, if you don't know, basically the Church of England and other churches as well, but mainly the Church of England, they run a course where you can learn more about God, and obviously in there they talk about homosexuality and how it may not be positive in your life. So I decided to become a born-again Christian, and a part of that I changed my name from Jodie Bunting to Joseph Spenlove. And I stopped being gay. For many, many years, I didn't kiss a boy, I can't say I wasn't attracted to boys, because obviously it was such a big part of my life. And I even had a girlfriend. So many of you know Lizzie, who again is very gay friendly, and again I really thank her for the input she had in my life, because really at that point it was great, and I know some people didn't like the fact that, you know, maybe he's testing her out and things like that, but whatever happened, anyway, I think we had a great time together. I certainly did, I'm sure she did. And from there I moved to Egypt. So for those of you who don't know, I went to work in Egypt for 10 years, and the good side to Egypt is the fact that it's very anti-gay. Very anti-gay. Not just the Muslims, but also the many Christian people there. You know, they do look at the single... I don't really want to use certain words, but they use the purpose of life, which is to procreate. And I had a Christian cross done on my arm. I still believe in Jesus, by the way. I'm a gay Christian. And from there I learned some really great lessons about life from my Egyptian friends, my Muslim and my Christian friends. And for quite a few years, you know, they were trying to convert me to be straight. And eventually I did it. As I said, through Alpha, I did start to lead a heterosexual lifestyle. And then working in Egypt for so long, I then met some gorgeous guys, and slowly I did start to do things and really start to enjoy it. And this was the life-changing thing for me. Before, maybe, you know, it still felt wrong. Remember, I'm from a village, I'm from a very small village where literally nobody is gay. Although I told my mum and dad, I still didn't tell my grandma. It wasn't one of those things where people say, you know, don't tell your grandma. It just felt very inappropriate to tell her, because she's of that generation where, you know, maybe it's very difficult for her to understand. But actually, she already knew, because we used to have like a doctor that come to the house and she used to be like, oh, Jodie likes it. You know, so although she made a joke about it, we didn't talk about it directly, but she definitely did know. So from there, I met some Egyptian guys. And again, for a lot of these Egyptian guys, you know, there's like sex tourism, and it's got quite a bad reputation, especially for gay people, Egypt and the Middle East. And yes, there are a lot of guys out there that are just looking for friendship or sex or money or whatever they want. So obviously I experienced some of that, but I also experienced, you know, meeting some really nice guys. And especially in Egypt, you know, as a gay man, you get your gaydar out and you can tell whether somebody is gay or whether they just want sex. And, you know, I met some really great guys. There's some amazing situations out there where, you know, a lot of guys out there, they do get married and have kids and just keep playing around. And then there's some other guys that desperately want to leave that country because they can't be who they want to be. And for me, seeing that, you know, really cemented, you know, what pride is all about. You know, we have got freedom in this country, and yes, some people might not like it, but it's really, really important that you do stand up for other people. Now, this little bit I want to talk about was obviously being bullied, because this is kind of a bit where you do come out as a child or a teenager because you're being bullied. Now, thankfully at school, I was fat, so people used to take the mickey out of me for being fat, which now I look back, it was an absolute blessing, because I didn't used to get any gay jokes or anything at school. At college, however, because I'd lost weight, there was a guy there called Glenn, I still remember him, who got me up by the throat and like was really, really threatening me because I was kind of a bit out there and out and proud, which again, there's nothing wrong with, but you have to be really careful about your circumstances and who you're with. Obviously the law has changed now to help people in this situation, but back then it was very like relaxed college. We're in Buxton in the middle of Derbyshire, and again it was a little bit like the village. You're not going to get like out and proud people, so I used to be there wearing my bright yellow coat. The other bit of negative that I've experienced in my life is when I worked in Birmingham in a hotel. Big Caribbean guy there used to hate me because he knew I was gay, and again he also got me round the throat up against the wall. So those are my two experiences where, you know, a lot of people now, they will go crazy, they'd call the police, but I kind of just A, I was a little bit shocked, but B, you know, I'm quite a parasympathetic person, is in the fact that I'm quite chilled out and I just know not to speak to that person again, because again, I understand that people's backgrounds and things like that, they just can't accept it. I've got a list of things that I want to mention, so I'm just going to go down that list. And finally, my boyfriend. So, for those of you who don't know, I do have an Egyptian boyfriend who I've been with now for 5 years. And part of the regulations now, they changed recently about coming to England, is that you have to be together for 5 years. We tried a visitor visa before, which wasn't successful. And because it's just gone 5 years, we will be trying a partner visa. And again, a lot of people say, you know, do you really want a guy from the Middle East? Is he just coming over for the passport or whatever like that? But you know, this 5-year thing that the Home Office have brought in is actually a really great thing, because it's very hard to lie for 5 years. So I think I've given him every test possible, and I'm really excited to bring him here. Obviously I'm not able to share publicly photos of him purely because he is Muslim, living in a Muslim country, so I have to protect him. So this is why you won't see me sharing, oh, I love my boyfriend, da, da, da. Right guys, so that's it. That has been my coming out story, and this coming Saturday is Derbyshire LGBT Pride. So it starts at 11 AM at St Peter's Church churchyard. The march, or the meeting at 11, leave at 11:30, and then the party will be on Curzon Street from 12 o'clock, and it's all free. So this week in all my fitness classes, Pink Gaga will be attending to celebrate Pride and obviously do a little bit of awareness. I've got some great outfits and accessories, and I've got some gay Pride flags for you guys. I've ordered 100 of them, so in class this week we will be waving our rainbow flags around in class, especially the dance fit classes, and having lots of fun. So please feel free to join me. For those of you who don't know what Derbyshire LGBT is, it is an advice and help service, so just Google them and you will find lots of information if you're having issues on coming out or just living life as gay. Right, so that's it from me and Poppy Willow from the beach here at Shell Island. We're coming home today, so I thought I would come and do this quick video before I leave on this lovely Sunday morning. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment and I will reply. Goodbye from Shell Island in Wales. Bye.